a system that's fragmented and marginalized, it's even still challenging unless you have the proper money. Because myself, I've been married 32 years, raised my kids right. But when they went to school, the friends that they have to, and come to the decisions that they have to make and things like that, and environments that they are in, that still becomes a challenge. It still becomes a challenge. They go into a school that is not nurturing them right there. And if they're around people who have been marginalized and oppressed themselves, and so even though they may be getting what they need to get here, once they leave the home, if they're not healthy enough to make the right kind of decisions, they're going to get caught up right along with everyone else. And so, and I'm saying that because a lot of times people say the father needs to be in the home. You can have the father and the mother in the home and still have these challenges, is because of the environment of the community. Because we, like we say, with a village and a tribe, and I forget the gentleman's name. We went up out of town, and he said that if a child is not embraced by the village, that child will burn down the village to feel its warmth. And he was talking about youth and how we have to embrace you. So we're a community that has to be healed and come together for our children so that they can be. You was talking about that nurture, so that they can be nurtured right.
That's good. That's right on point, and I do love all those examples, because if you get into somebody's car and their car is clean, you're not gonna mess up. Right. You're not like, you're just exactly. more aware. Like you just exactly. not like you if you get in the car and it's like, all right, you gonna remember to grab that that little Hostess cupcake wrapper that you got from the, you're gonna remember to grab that. You're not gonna leave it in there. But if you're in a car where it's just like my car, the kids, stuff everywhere, it's not so. It's easier. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of it. You become a part of it.
And can I say something else
yes,
in regards to the nurturing part, or having the right ingredients in the soil so they can grow?
Yeah.
When we talk about the community mentors and we talk about the work that we're doing, there's something that Ruben brought up that I think is very important. And I was looking at it and I was like, but community mentors are not doing that. They need to do that. If you're doing it, then I'll do it. And there's certain people that do it, but many are afraid to do it because they're afraid of their money being cut off, right? So when you talk about systems and changing policies, and so on, with the structural racism that we deal with, because they brought that up, or Ruben brought that up, Australia brought that up, and that's an important piece that we have to do and we have to change. But many people that I find in the community, and that's another part of the reason why we have so many challenges, are not willing to face that challenge because they don't want to ruffle feathers in the system. They don't want to upset people in the system because they know that they will lose their money if they do. And so we're kind of like put in, for lack of a better way of saying it, catch-22 or whatever. We're kind of put in a situation to where you're gonna, it's gonna hurt you if you do, it's gonna hurt you if you don't. And because if you don't, then the community still suffers. But if you do, then they're gonna pull your funding, your money, and everything. At least that's what people think. And that's why I was saying up there is that as community mentors, we have to come together and stick together, and not let money divide us. And so if me and Arab Me is fighting for justice and fighting to change systems and standing up against these systems, and then you have others looking at us, oh, well, y'all gonna do that. I'm not gonna ruffle no feathers because I want to continue to get the fund. Then we're not together. And so, there's approaches and there are plans and there's strategies. There's a way that, and there's a role that everybody can play to do this. But we got this shift our thinking to understand that if you really want to help the community and help our youth and help, I know the focus on youth at this, but it's really the whole family. And that's one of the things you brought up. It's the whole family. It's a holistic approach. You got to look at the parents, the grandparents, the great grandparents. On down to the little kid and the baby that's in the womb. All of that has got to be addressed. And so when we look at it from that approach, we can start thinking like systems. We got to change some systems here. One thing that I share with people about being a community mentor sometimes, yes, it is that I have to be a brother to somebody maybe, or kind of like a father to someone, then a teacher, then a life coach, and then and this is the part I tell my wife, she tries something, and sometimes I'm almost like a husband to the mother, because she don't the father dead or in prison, whatever, not around the child's life. Then she's calling me like I'm the dad or the father and got to deal with something she just had. I need you over here right now, blah, or whatever it is. And so we're when you talk about community mentions, when you talk about that nurturing, there's such a great role that needs to be played in that. And I think that we can do this work and it can happen, but we have to really think outside the box and get beyond just the way we thinking and looking at things now with youth groups and working with them and getting. But we got to think, and I think the presentation was right. What Ruben put up there was right, on point. But I don't think that the community mentors see that, and that's what we got to get them to the lights to come on, to understand that it's not just about you coming to a meeting and meeting with a group of folks and writing some paperwork down. Well, they stayed 8 months and they didn't go to there's a lot of people that graduate, a lot of blacks that didn't get caught up in the system, graduated out of high school, went to college, and still struggle to get a job, still struggle to live and to survive, still struggle to make it and bring their kids up right and things like that. So we got to think bigger than just that if we're really going to change and remove those stigmas that's in the community and empower the community, because it's really about empowering a community.
I think Bishop kind of spoke to that.
Yeah, I know it's everything.
A community mentor to me really is somebody who goes over and beyond what mentorship has looked like in the past, or what mentorship looks like in other communities. It's like, oh, I show up, I spend a few hours with the kid, and I move on. I think when you're dealing with communities that, like I said, are underprivileged or marginalized, or really dealing with some underlying trauma and systemic racism, then you have to have that holistic approach. And so what that means is really learning that child, learning what has affected that child. A lot of the work that I do is building relationships back with parents, because that was broken. So I'm coming in, that child, when I start to see that teenager adapt to me like a mother or a big sister, there was some voids there. Why is that? And if their parents are still around and they're just like, I can't control them, getting back to why those things happen the way they did. Sometimes I'm a mentor to one person, but they also have siblings. And so I become a full family mentor, and it, like Bishop was saying, you are dealing with the whole person, the whole family. Mentors, depending on the communities in which you're serving, I can't accomplish you going to school without making sure that you have food, you have shelter, you have clothes, you have a backpack, you have a bus pass to get there, or I'm providing rides for you. Like, we can't keep providing one piece of the puzzle because they can never complete this, because they have all this other stuff they're worried about. And so a community mentor is really looking at all the needs of this young person and saying, okay, how can I meet these needs? And if I can't do it alone, who can I bring to the table to help meet these needs, right? And so that's really what a community mentor is. It does not look the same for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It is literally not a one size fit all.
Right.
It is, you meet them where they are, you meet the needs, and you serve them, and you pour into them, and you're a little bit of everything to them, whatever they need, whatever that void was that was missing in their life. So that's how I would define a community mentor.
Amen.